Hello friends, so today we'll understand about the authorization on API gateway. So let's understand about the authorization first. So assume you have an application and you have four APIs and you have two users. So you can see that the user 1 and user 2 have access or privileges to invoke the insert doc API, and they also have the same access and the privileges to call the get doc API. But in the third API list users, we have restricted the user 2 to invoke the list users API, and in the fourth API the get users API has been restricted for the user 1. So this is called authorization. So if you want to specify access or rights or privileges to the application users in order to access the resource, okay, then you have to implement the authorization on the application. So once, let's say, you have created the resources on API gateway and you want to restrict this resource to specific users, then you need to enable the authorization on the application, okay, or on the API gateway. Okay, so right now on API authorizers, we have three types of authorizers. First is AWS IAM, the second one is Cognito, or we can call that as an GAWT authorizer, and the third one is Lambda, which is a custom authorizer. Okay, so once you have AWS IAM authorizer, okay, then who can invoke the APIs if there is an AWS IAM authorizer enabled? Okay, the IAM user can invoke those APIs and the Cognito user can invoke those APIs. So how they can invoke the API is, so let's assume that there are two IAM users, okay, and the IAM user will have certain policies and that policies will have a few resources mentioned. Okay, so in the user one IAM user policy, the user one is only have access to call list user API, and the user two in his policy, it is the user is two is only having access to invoke the get user API. So now how we can use the IAM user to implement this scenario. So what we need to do is we need to first go to the resource, okay, and go to the resource method, click on it and go to the method request, and here in the authorization click on AWS IAM and select OK. So once you have changed this, go and deploy the API again. So once deploy, so you can see that on this resource IAM authorizer you have enabled the AWS IAM authorizer. Okay, so once you have enabled this AWS IAM, you cannot simply go ahead and call this API. You need to pass few data along with the API on the header. You need to pass it. So let's see what we need to pass. So first, what I will do is I will go ahead and simply invoke the API, and let's see what kind of response we'll get. Okay, so I will just copy this resource and I'll paste it over here, and I'll simply call the API. So here they are telling we got a response from API gateway that is a missing authentication token. So that means we need to send few details in the headers in order to call this API. And we have already discussed that only two types of user can call the API: the IAM user and the Cognito user. Okay, so now we are looking for the IAM users. Okay, so I have one IAM user named Sarang, okay, and in his policy, I have given access to the IAM authorizer resource. As you can see, this IAM authorizer resource on the API gateway, I have given the access for invoking this IAM authorizer resource. So what I will do is I will use the this IAM user named Sarang. Okay, I will use the access key and secret key of it, and I will try to invoke the API. Okay, and this API is a mock one. I will just go ahead and click on the resource, and I have not integrated any service. This is a mock API. Okay, it will just send empty response if the API is called properly. What I'm trying to say is if the API is called with the required data. So I will go ahead and click on authorization, and I'll click on AWS signature. Here you need to pass access key of that IAM user, secret key of that IAM user, and the region where this endpoint is located. It is in US West 2, as you can see in the endpoint as well, and the service name you need to pass as an execute API. So when you update the request, you can see in the headers there are few details added by default. Okay, so Postman is adding few headers, okay, for us in order to call the API. So I'll go ahead and click send. So we got the response empty. That means we have successfully invoked the API. But as you can see that we only provided four details, and the headers, something got added into the headers. Okay, so this is nothing but called a signature. Okay, as you can see the signature. So when you are having the AWS IAM authorizer enabled, you need to send signature along with the body. Since it's a get API, so there is no body, but in the post, or whether it's a get HTTP method, you need to send the signature in the header, okay, in order to invoke that API. So how we will know that how to calculate the signature? Because right now we have used the Postman, but in the real time application we're not going to use the Postman. Okay, so what I'll suggest you is refer this doc where the API AWS have very good docs that how we can calculate the signature version 4, and how we can invoke the APIs for the users who have permission to invoke that. Okay, and if you're using a JavaScript, I mean to say, if you're using any client-side application in that you're using uh, JavaScript, I prefer, I'll recommend using this npm package called this one AWS 4, which help us in creating this signature. Okay, and we just need to pass few details, and it will all the signature will be calculated using this npm package called AWS 4. Okay, and let me know in the comment section if anyone is facing some issues while invoking this API, while calculating the signature. Okay, so what we have understood is, when you have AWS IAM authorizer, you need to have a few parameters into the headers, and those are nothing but the signatures. Okay, and so we have completed one part, that the AWS IAM authorizers can be is accessible to IAM user if that IAM user is having access to the resource. Okay, the IAM user was able to call the resource because in the policy we have given the access, right? Okay, so now let's understand that how the cognitive user can call the API if the AWS IAM is enabled. Okay, so now for cognitive users, you have to do one extra step, that you need to get the access key and secret key of the cognitive users. As you can see on the Postman, we are first adding the access key and secret key of the IAM user, but the cognitive user will not have these keys once the user is registered into the cognitive, right? So what we need to do is, for the cognitive user, we need to call the assume role API, and that assume role API will have a that assume role will have a policy, and in that policy the resources would be mentioned. Okay, so here in for the cognitive users, what we need to do, I'll again repeat, we need to call the assume role API. So I will just write assume role API, and here also. Okay, and once we call the assume role API, we will get the access key and the secret key. Access key, secret key, and we will also get the session token. Okay, we'll get these three things, and we just need to pass the access key and secret key, and also the session token. I will tell you where we need to pass this. So access key and secret key will be passed in this authorization part, and in the header here you need to pass the here you need to pass security token. Okay, and here you need to pass the value of that session token. So there is an extra step only for the cognitive user, since they don't have the access key and secret key, but the IAM user has. So in order to get the access key secret key, we need to call the assume role API. And if you're interested about that how you can get this keys, okay, I have one video on the YouTube channel. Please go ahead and just check that video, or you'll get an idea that how to assume a role and get the keys and how to access the resources. Okay, so now let's understand about the cognito authorizer, which is a second authorizer on the API gateway, and it is also called the JWT authorizer. So why it is called JWT? Because the cognito user, when the cognitive user logs in into the application, the user will get three tokens: ID token, access token, and refresh token. So what I'm trying to say over here is, if you can go to the user pool, I have an user. Okay, what I will do is, I will try to log in this user using AWS CLI. Okay, so I have this CLI command. Okay, so I have the CLI command. I will copy this and I will go to the command prompt, and I will log this user into the application using let's say using this command prompt. Okay, and here you see that while login, I got three tokens: ID token, refresh token, and the access token. Okay, so this is like if you can see here, for AWS IEM we need to add something in the header, right? And for this type of authorizer, for this type of cognito authorizer, we need to pass one of the ID token. Okay, we need to pass this ID token into the header. Okay, so what I will do, I will copy this ID token, and I will just clear this part. I don't want all this. Okay, and here what I will do is I will just write authorization and I will just paste it here. Okay, and here I will just keep no auth. So here I have this authorization key, and I have the one of the JWT token called ID token for the Cognito user. But first we need to go to the API gateway and enable this Cognito authorizer. So I have one resource, Cognito authorizer. What I will do is I will enable one of the authorizer. For doing that, we need to go first to the authorizer and create new authorizer. Here I need to select the Cognito, and I will just pass this Cognito test. I will give name of the authorizer as a Cognito test, and here I need to pass the user pool. So this is the user pool ID. I have selected this user pool, and the name of the user pool is password and passwordless auth. Okay, so now I have one user, right, Sarang Kumar 8056, and I have got the ID token of that user too. So now what I will do is I will just mention the key that I would like to pass into the header, and I will create this. Okay, and now I will add this authorizer into one of the resource called cognito-authorizer. So I will select this, and it has not come here, so I need to hard refresh the page, and think so it will come off now. Yeah, I will again go to the method request, and I will select the cognito test authorizer, and I'll click OK. Since I have made changes, I have to deploy the API again. Okay, so now I think so we are good. Now what I will do is I'll simply call the API, and okay, also header signature by authorization headers. Okay, so what I need to do is just give me a second. Here is a no auth. What I will do, I will just create the same endpoint. Okay, in the header I will just write authorization. Oh, okay, first I need to change this since here I have enabled the cognito authorizer endpoint. Okay, I have enabled the cognito test authorizer on this cognito authorizer endpoint. So what I have to do is I have to just change this, and here I will again pass this. Oh, just a second. I will again pass this ID token on to the postman, and I'll paste it here. So I was able to call the API. So let's I will not allow, I'm not passing the authorizer, and let's see whether I'll be able to call. No, see, not able to call because I'm unauthorized, and because I'm not passing this JWT ID token. That's the reason I'm not able to I'm not able to get access of this API. Okay, so I think so it's pretty much clear that if you're using a cognito authorizer on one of the resource, okay, for in example I have used this resource name, then you need to pass one of the JWT token for the IEM user, sorry, for the cognito user. So this is one of my cognito user. I have logged in this user via CLI, and I got the token, and I added that token into the header, and I was able to call the API. Okay, so we have completed two authorizers. So now the last one is the Lambda authorizer, which is also known as a custom authorizer. So why it's called custom authorizer? Because you can add your own rules in order to authorize the users. Okay, for example, I have created a Lambda, and the name of the Lambda is like custom Lambda authorizer. So what I have done is I have added my own authorization rules. Okay, and for this example, what I have created a rule is, if in the header, if I'm getting a token and the value of the token is sarang, then I will allow that user to have access to that API. Okay, so here you need to take care that the Lambda authorizer should return one IAM policy. Okay, and this is the structure of the IAM policy. Okay, so I will quickly go to the API gateway, and I will enable the custom authorizer resource with the Lambda authorizer. So what I have to do over here is I need to go and create one more authorizer, and I will write Lambda test, and here I need to select Lambda, and here also I will select the name of the Lambda is custom Lambda authorizer. There are no role I want to configure, and here I will pass the authorization token as a key, and the value will be sarang. If the value is sarang, then my the Lambda which I have written over here, or the rules that I have mentioned, according to that rule, if the value is sarang, then I'll be able to invoke the API, else I will be restricted, right? So here I will disable this, and I will create the Lambda authorizer. Okay, I'll go to the resource, and I'll configure this authorizer to one of the resource called custom authorizer. So here I will select okay, so I haven't got in the list, so I will go ahead and refresh the page. So now I should get the authorizer into the list. Yeah, I have got the Lambda test authorizer. Okay, since I have made the changes, I have to go ahead and deploy the API again. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go to the Postman, and I will first change this endpoint to custom authorizer. And as we know, on the authorizer, we have configured that the key should be authorization token, right? So I need to pass this same key into the header, and I'll turn off this, and here I will pass any random value, and let's see what we get the response. Okay, so see, it is written user is not authorized to access this resource with an explicit deny. So now what I will do is I will pass my name Sarang over here, and let's see whether I'll be able to call. Okay, so I was able to call because I have added my own rules. Like if the token name is, let's say, Sarang, then I will change the policy effect to allow, or else I have kept the policy effect as a deny. So that's the reason that I was able to invoke the API. Correct. So that's all from my side, guys, and thank you, and please